Hello friends, in this module we are going to create mini robots using oscillatory motion. Before we do that, let's understand what is oscillatory motion as a part of our robotics construction level 1 course. In this video, we will see what is oscillatory motion. We will also see how to convert circular motion into oscillatory motion. We will see which parts from CurioSpark kit are to be used to get the oscillatory motion. And finally, we will consolidate our understanding into 5 important points. Now, what is oscillatory motion? Oscillatory motion is a repeated motion between fixed 2 points. Or I can say that it is part of the circular motion. Not the complete circular motion, just part of circular motion. In our day-to-day life, we can see lots of things which follow oscillatory motion. For example, the wiper for the car. They move in oscillatory fashion. We also see with the grandpa's clock, the old clocks, they had a pendulum which moves in oscillatory fashion. There are many such examples. We will see them in due course of time. But now let's see how to convert circular motion into oscillatory motion. For that we need one rotating body. And in CurioSpark kit we have the big gear which can be used as the rotating body for the oscillatory motion. Now what does this rotating body do? It gives us a center we call sun point, and it gives us a place where we can connect a point which will revolve around the sun, just like Earth. We can also use the flat rotator, because flat rotator also have 2 circular holes just away from the center of the flat rotator. So to get our sun point and earth point, we can use either gear B, that is the big gear, or the flat rotator. Away from the center, we create earth point using a bolt, generally 1-inch bolt, and connecting that bolt to the gear or to the flat rotator tightly. Then we use the single bar to work as push-pull rod. This is called as push-pull rod because this rod moves front and back. And we use single bar from CurioSpark kit to work as a push-pull rod. Then we have fulcrum point. The fulcrum point is connected to the base tightly. We generally use 1-inch or 1.5-inch bolt to act as a fulcrum point. Then we have pendulum rod. Another single bar is used as pendulum rod. Pendulum rod is mounted on the fulcrum point and it is loosely coupled there. And finally, we connect the push-pull rod and pendulum rod using a nut bolt, again connected very loosely. So these are the parts which we use to get our oscillatory motion from circular motion. Circular motion we get from our motor. This gear or the flat rotator rotates on the motor. This point, earth point, rotates around the center, and because of that rotation, the push-pull rod goes forward and backwards, pushing and pulling the pendulum rod around the fulcrum point. The fulcrum point here acts as a hinge, and that way this end of the pendulum rod gives us oscillatory motion. Let's see how the motion looks like. So this is how we get the motion. Now before we move ahead, let's revise the 5 important things. We need a sun point. So we need a motor which drives gear or the flat rotator. And the center of the gear or center of the flat rotator, we call it as a sun point. Then we need earth point. Earth point is created on this circular moving body, which is either the big gear or the flat rotator. On that, using 1 or 1.5-inch bolt, we create an earth point. Earth point is tightly connected to the circular moving body. Then we have push-pull rod. We use the single bar to act as a push-pull rod. We know that in Curious Spark kit, we do not have holes, we have slits. And so at the end of this push-pull rod or at the end of the single bars, we need to create two holes. Those holes will be one side mounted on earth point, on other side it will be connected to the pendulum rod. And when we mount this push-pull rod on earth point, we connect it with a loosely connected nut. So this is a joint, this is connected loosely. Then we have fulcrum point, which is connected to the base tightly. We use 1-inch bolt or 1.5-inch bolt. And finally we have pendulum rod. Again, a single bar. At one end we need to create a hole using flat rotator, and that end is connected to the push-pull rod using another nut and bolt, again connected very loosely because we need it to move. These are the joints. So if you see, the push-pull rod at one end is connected to earth point, at other end connected to the pendulum rod. These are joints, hence they need to be loosely coupled. One more joint we have is a fulcrum point. Here also we need to connect the pendulum rod onto fulcrum point loosely. This is how we get oscillatory motion from the circular motion. So in this video we have understood what is oscillatory motion. We have seen how to achieve oscillatory motion from circular motion. We also saw which Curious Spark parts are used to get the oscillatory motion. And finally, we have compiled our understanding into 5 important points. In our next video, we will create one robot using oscillatory motion. See you in next video.